Hi, my name's Charlie Eaton, Head of Sales and Marketing here at Horizon Agricultural Machinery. Today I'm delighted to introduce you to the new Generation 3 DSX. This Generation 3 DSX is simply an evolution of our previous Generation 2 model that proved to be extremely successful for us. We sold over 200 of those across 26 countries worldwide. With a Generation 2 DSX we have out in the market, we've listened to our customers' feedback and we've taken all of that on board in the design of the Generation 3 machine. This is not a redesign, it's simply an evolution of our very successful Gen 2 machine with lots of great new features packed into this. So we've still got the double hopper. We can put 4 different hoppers on this for granular product, and our very popular liquid fert system is still included as an option on the Gen 3. We're a modular machine, so if a farmer buys a 4-meter machine, they can extend that all the way up to 7.2 meters. We have the different row spacings available, so we're now offering 15 centimeters, 16.7 centimeters, 18.7 centimeters, 20 centimeters and 25 centimeter options on here. We also have all the key features in our row unit. The hydraulic downforce on the parallelogram. We've actually got a new row cleaner, which I'll talk to you about in a minute. We're still working the undercut disc on the 2 angles, 10 degrees of vertical and 7 degrees front to back. The D-cup diffusers, the depth regulation at point of seeding from the gauge wheels, and the pneumatic controls on the closing system. And we also offer the same transport wheel options as on our previous Gen 2 machines. So as standard, we offer a 710 tyre. You can then either upgrade to a 750 VF or Vs, which are our biggest tyre, the 850s. Also, we still have these hydraulic rams on the back, which are the weight transfer system, allowing the operator to determine how much weight they're distributing onto the transport wheels or onto the row units. With our new Generation 3 DSX, we're also expanding the list of platform widths we can offer our farmers. So we're now offering farmers a smaller, rigid 3-meter machine that can also be 4 meters, where that's not a problem on the road. This machine here comes from 4 meters all the way up to 7.2 meters. So this is our mid-size machine. You can have that at 4, 4.8, 5, 6, 6.4 or 7.2 meters. And then we have our larger platform, which comes at 7.5 meters, 8 meters and 9 meters. That's a much larger chassis than this, with a bigger seed tank. The wings on that machine have the ability to contour follow, whereas on the smaller machines, they lock out rigid and we use the parallelogram to follow the contours of the soil. When designing the Gen 3 DSX, the operator's experience was at the front of our engineers' minds. So we got a lot of features on the machine now, which will make the operator's experience even better. Starting here at the front, we've got this new organizer for putting all the pneumatic and the hydraulic connectors. The hydraulic connectors are all color coded, so you can easily see what you're connecting where. We've got the gauges here. They're very visible from the tractor cab. So we've got the one on the left and the right is a pressure gauge for the hoppers, and then we've got the pressure gauge for the hydraulic downforce right here. We've got our toolbox that we've always offered, large capacity in there so you can put lots of spares and different rotors. We've got a fantastic new calibration scales hook, really nifty when you're calibrating. It does help the job along. And we've also got this new electronic service terminal at the front. So if you did ever have to access the electronics on the machine. They're all safely stored up there now and easily accessible for a service technician or the operator if they need to work on it. Probably the first thing you'll notice on the new DSX is the platform we've got on the side of the hopper. So this is a hydraulic platform. It folds up and down in the hydraulic wing circuit and is fantastic for accessing the hopper. You'll also notice we completely redesigned the hopper on the DSX. So this hopper is considerably wider and lower than our previous design, which gives it a better centre of gravity. It's the same 4,700 litre capacity and as standard split 60-40 for two different products. We've now got two different lids that are completely separate. So this is much better for keeping a really good consistent pressure in the pressurised hoppers. The lids are very easy to work with. They're lighter, easier access, and you can see we've still got a big area there for getting your half-ton or even your ton bags in. We've also listened to your feedback and changed the design of the mesh trays in here. So these now have a much wider gap in there, so even the biggest seeds like an oats or a bean can flow through here very easily. If you're wanting to apply nutrition with your DSX, we can do that with either granular or liquid formats. So in the granular format, of course, you can use one of your big hoppers for delivering granular fertilizer down with the seed. For example, if you wanted to put 100 kilos of DAP with your seed, you would do that through one of the big hoppers. We also can offer up to two smaller 400 litre hoppers. So that's our GH400. We can mount one of these on the front, which can be plumbed into the airflow and the row unit with the seed. And we can mount one on the back, which we can also put our toolbar, which puts surface application of granular products for something like slug pallets, Avadex, or potentially surface applied seeds, potentially a grass. And we can also add our liquid fertilizer system. This is very popular with customers, especially those looking to add compost teas and compost extracts. So that can be a tank mounted on the rear of the machine or on the front of the tractor if the customer chooses that. And equally, if the customer already has their own liquid system, we can add the distribution and the delivery pipes down into the seeding zone. The most significant changes we've made with the Generation 3 are in this new row unit. So although it looks very similar to the older Generation 2 model, the whole row unit has been completely redesigned. Firstly, we've made it 25 kilos lighter. So every row unit now is 25 kilos lighter and giving a much lighter footprint, which is a big benefit if you're going on cultivated or very light soils. We've also made each row unit 4 centimetres narrower, which means we can confidently offer you 15 centimetres row spacings. You'll notice we're now using a clamping sliding toolbar for connecting the row unit to the frame. This clamp is much stronger, but it also makes adjusting row spacings a lot quicker. So if the operator wanted to change from 15 to 20 centimetre spacings, it's much easier to do. The parallelogram has been completely redesigned. So firstly, the parallelogram is a lot stiffer and keeps the whole row unit perfectly in line. But secondly, we now have an extra 5 centimetres of travel for contour following. So we've increased that from 32 centimetres up to 37 centimetres. One of the significant improvements in performance is our new row cleaner. So you'll see we've now separated the row cleaner from the row unit. That's running on its own parallelogram, and we're now dragging the row cleaner rather than pushing it like we were before. That gives us much better contour following. You'll also notice that the gap between the row cleaner and the disc are also now very narrow, which means we won't get any residue falling back in front of the seeding zone. The final changes we've made are in our new seed boot system. So you'll notice we're now sprung loaded against the disc. So that's always ensuring the relationship between the disc and the seed boot are perfect. We can now lift and lower the seed boot. So as the disc wears out, we can lift the boot up, getting more wear out of the disc and out of the seed boot. Finally, in 2025, we'll also be offering our new seed boot, which will have tungsten carbide to even further prolong the life of the seed boot. So as you can see, we've listened to our customers' feedback and we've made a lot of small changes which hopefully will dramatically improve the performance and operator's experience on the machine. If you'd like to see a Generation 3 DSX, please get in contact with us or your local dealer.